Time and again, Pakistan has been exposed at various global platforms for being a terror breeder and for providing safe havens to terrorists. However, it once again faced grave humiliation at 45th session of the United Nations Human Rights Council in Geneva, wherein an European think tank and Pakistani activists slammed Islamabad for its gross human rights violations and sponsoring and exporting terror, despite facing strict regulations by the Financial Action Task Force. A report. Exposing Pakistan's terror sponsor policies, the European Foundation for South Asian Studies, a think tank based in Amsterdam, lambasted the country at the 45th session of the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva. Veronica Eklund, research analyst at EFSAS, stressed upon the fact that Pakistan continues to be a safe haven for terrorists and terrorist organizations. Calling out Pakistan for hailing terrorists as martyrs, Veronica said that Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan and Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi have time and again confessed at international platforms that their country shelters terrorists.
Talking to CNN in February 2019, Pakistan's Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi admitted that UN-designated terrorist and chief of Jaish-e-Mohammed Masood Azhar resides in Pakistan. To BBC in March 2019, Mr. Qureshi confessed that his government and Jaish-e-Mohammed maintained official contact. In July 2019, Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan told the U.S. Institute of Peace in Washington that his country hosts 40,000 terrorists. In June 2020, Prime Minister Imran Khan referred to al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden as a martyr in the country's parliament. Last month, Pakistan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs acknowledged the presence of UN-designated terrorist Dawood Ibrahim on its territory. Madam President, there is no need to elaborate. Pakistani officials have time and again confessed the country continues to be a safe haven for terrorists and terrorist organizations. The UN Security Council's consolidated list of terrorist individuals and entities includes 146 entries from Pakistan. With all due respect, I am compelled to ask, why is Pakistan still a member of this August Council?
The situation in Gilgit-Baltistan and POK has become increasingly fragile due to the constant threat of terrorism perpetrated by Pakistan military. People in these regions are enduring one of the worst humanitarian crises across the globe due to the consistent atrocities being committed by the state of Pakistan. It is not just being plundering the land and resources of the region with impunity, but has been barbaric in muzzling the voices that demand justice and rights. Raising this issue at the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva, a political activist from POK, Amjad Ayub Mirza, said that people are now faced with the double colonization of Gilgit-Baltistan, as China has joined Pakistan under the Belt and Road Initiative. He demanded that this modern form of colonization must be declared as illegal.
For every 25 people, Pakistan has deployed one soldier in Gilgit-Baltistan. Almost every single government official serving in Gilgit-Baltistan is Pakistani. Our natural resources are being plundered. UN resolutions regarding Jammu, Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan seem to have become obsolete. Hence, a new approach has become the need of the hour. Therefore, I demand that Pakistan be tried for war crimes, that the world should collectively demand withdrawal of Pakistan army from our lands. A Truth and Reconciliation Commission should be set up to investigate the 1990s genocide of Hindu Pandits in Kashmir, committed by Pakistan-sponsored jihadi terrorists in collaboration with local Muslim clergy.
Pakistan-occupied Kashmir is being used as a terrorist training field. The Pakistani army is complicit in providing funds and training to the terrorists being trained in these factories. Under mounting international pressure, Pakistan is now pretending to increase financial curbs on terror organizations by proposing legislations related to the FATF. These so-called financial curbs come at a time when several evidences suggest that Pakistan's counter-terrorism actions are a sham and it is still giving VIP treatment to many terror leaders residing in its territories.